want to welcome you to the Ask Jeff YouTube channel. Here's today's question. Is it a sin to play role-playing games such as Dungeons and Dragons? Where did this idea come from and why? Well, there's actually two layers or levels we're dealing with. The concept of, quote, role-playing and the idea of a game such as a Dungeons and Dragons that has a very demonic feel to it. So let's go in reverse. Let's deal with the, quote, Dungeons and Dragons phenomena. Obviously, in recent days, a movie has been made, which I find ironic, that had kind of a humorous feel to it. It derives from a role-playing game of decades gone back known as Dungeons and Dragons, which uses spells, incantations, wizards, witchcraft, etc. And the reason that a game as specific as that, as well as others similar to it, would be contrary to Scripture is found in Deuteronomy 18 and a host of other passages where it says that you and I, as believers, should have nothing to do with warlocks, witches, spells, incantations, etc. There's really no biblical defense at all for any interaction with, promotion of, or, quote, playing around with anything of this nature. That's not just board games. That could involve movies and entertainment and a host of other mechanisms. But I'll leave that for another question for another day. Let's talk about role-playing games in general. One of the things that we discover in Scripture is that God is a God of purpose. He's a God of order. In fact, in 1 Corinthians 14:33, he says he's not a God of confusion. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we see role-playing games as not only life by chance, but assuming the role of somebody who we are not. And that's a dangerous proposition. We live in a world today where people want to identify as something that is contrary to who they are and how God designed and made them. Role-playing games have you take an identity that could be a different gender than you are, have a different means and role of which you were given by God originally as. And so role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons in specific, I think are dangerous to a believer, walking or hopefully walking in a biblical manner. And again, someone says, well, it's just a game. Well, when you take on an identity of, I'm going to be, I guess, very casual here. When you play the game Monopoly, okay, and you say, oh, I want to be the car versus the top hat as a piece, you don't take on the identity as, it's just a mechanism you move around the board. When you do role-playing games, you're assuming that identity, you're pretending to be that person who is not who God made you to be, and it can lead down a very dangerous path. Great question. If you have one, send to AskJeff.net. Maybe your question will be tomorrow's. Thanks for being a part of today's daily question. Now, we answer a question each and every day. Please feel free to submit a new question at AskJeff.net. We may not have gotten to yours today, but we eventually will continue to be a part of this. Subscribe so you don't miss out on a question every day.